Has the universe ever sent you a sign while you were at your lowest? I was living out of a 2002 Mazda in the middle of winter in Calgary. Nights hit below minus 20 degrees Celsius. I didn't have a working heater, so I'd sleep in a sleeping bag with my coat zipped over my head. I'd usually park behind a grocery store because their outdoor lights gave me a weird sense of security. That week, I had hit rock bottom. I'd lost my job at a warehouse after showing up late too many times because I had to shower in a gym and the pipes had frozen. I hadn't eaten in 2 days. My phone was on 3% battery and no data. And on top of everything, my older brother had just blocked me for the third time after I asked to borrow money. I had one hoodie, one pair of jeans. My socks were stiff from being worn for too long. I didn't even feel human anymore. That night, I remember staring at the roof of the car thinking, I don't think I'll survive next week. I wasn't suicidal, but I had this feeling like the cold might just take me if it wanted to. The next morning, I woke up to someone knocking on the driver's side window. My first reaction? Panic. I thought I was getting kicked out. I sat up, face crusty, breath fogging the glass. There was a guy standing there in a neon safety vest and holding a large Tim Hortons coffee. He looked maybe 25, had a construction helmet on and one AirPod in. He smiled awkwardly and said, "Hey man, you good?" I nodded but didn't say anything. He held up the coffee and said, "Double and a sausage biscuit. No offense, but you looked like you needed it." I took it like it was gold. I actually forgot to say thank you because I was in shock. He laughed a little and added, "I park back here too. Night shift. Saw your car's been here all week." We talked for a few minutes. He asked me my name, what happened. I told him honestly, no sugarcoating. Then he said something I'll never forget. "You're not invisible, bro. Don't forget that." He handed me $60 in cash and said, "Get a phone charger or a hot meal, whatever. Just keep going." I didn't cry until after he walked off. And I mean, ugly cried. The universe sent me that guy at the exact moment I needed to be reminded I wasn't dead yet, that I still mattered, that someone saw me. Now here's where it takes a turn. 3 months later, I finally got hired at a mechanic shop through a temp agency. Still living in the Mazda, but at least earning again. One day after my shift, I stopped into the same Tim Hortons, and he was there. The guy. Same vest, sitting alone, scrolling his phone. I walked up to say thank you again, but as I got closer, I noticed he looked off. Pale, sweaty. He didn't look well. I asked if he was okay, and he shook his head. Said he hadn't eaten in 2 days, that he got laid off and couldn't make rent. I just stared at him for a second. Then I handed him $60 in cash, the exact amount he'd given me. He looked confused. I said, "You reminded me I wasn't invisible. Now it's my turn." We sat there for an hour, talking, laughing, swapping stories about garbage bosses and bad coffee. He eventually got a new gig with a plumbing company 2 weeks later. We still check in on each other now and then. But there's one thing I never told him. The coffee he gave me that day, I didn't drink it. I poured it into a thermos and used it as a hand warmer for 2 nights straight. Because sometimes the gift isn't just thing itself, it's the act. And sometimes the universe doesn't shout. It just quietly taps on your window and reminds you to keep going.